Yeah, look, tell me what's the vibes, what's the mood? Yeah, I just hit up Mikey for the juice. Yeah, ain't no capping, I'ma tell the truth. I've been winning for so long, it's hard to lose. Look, tell me what's the vibes, what's the moves? Tell me what's the vibes, what's the moves?
All right, man. It's another episode, man, of Peak Masters. How y'all been? Hope y'all been feeling good, man. It's been a long fucking month. I'm not gonna lie to y'all, but it's in a good way. Got everybody here. Got me, the Marcus. Of course, y'all seen us, but I'm gonna let him introduce the special guest, man.
Yeah. Shout out Chad. Like you said, he'll be back. You know, he'll be back. Have some things to take care of, but got a filler today. Brought in wifey. Y'all been hearing me talking about her just a little bit, so thought that we'll bring in a fresh perspective from wifey town. So I'll let you introduce yourself.
Got her looking all glammed up, glam key on social media. You feel me?
Represent.
You feel me?
Hey, she got to. You got to come right if you're going to get on here. All right?
Yeah, because y'all savages out there, man.
Facts.
Y'all savages.
Facts. So we're going to get into it. We got this video that we want y'all to watch. Pretty interesting. I seen it on social media. Been racking up a lot of views, a lot of different discussions, different point of views. So, we got to get into it.
Absolutely. So, Ryan, if you can insert that for us, my boy.
Go ahead and insert the video. So y'all let us know. We'll be right back in a second.
If I was a wife, I would be doing more of those things.
So what you're saying is, I have to marry you, make you my wife, in order for you to start doing wife things.
I mean, I'm just a girlfriend.
Okay. Sheree, do you want to marry me?
Yes.
Why?
Because you a provider, a protector, you watch out for me, I love you. Why would I not want to marry you?
I appreciate that. I love you too. So what you're saying to me is, those are the things you want your husband to do.
Yes.
So the things I'm doing right now, even though I'm not your husband, you want your husband to do. And the crazy thing is, that's just who I am. Not because it's what I feel like I have to do. I'm already a husband. I'm just not your husband yet. So you see a husband in me, what do you think I see in you?
All right. Then we ain't got to pause. But
So the video just played.
So basically what I took from it was the lady said that the reason why she couldn't do, I guess, what her man was asking for is because she wasn't a wife yet. And that, I guess, because she's still a girlfriend, that he doesn't get all of the wife privileges. And the man's argument was, well, he's already a husband, but just not her husband. So why can't he get that in return from her?
So I don't know why this is going around, and where I agree with what he said, where you are who you are. Like, I don't understand why somebody has to make you be something. You should already be who you want to be, in my opinion. If you're a wife, then you're a wife. You show wife type, characteristics. Now, I understand, like, treating somebody like a wife in a relationship, boyfriend, girlfriend, but you also got to, like, understand who you're dating in that dating field to be able to say, okay, we're working towards this. There's a common goal. Like, we both are working towards this. Because how could, like, I don't know what it is. It's like, how is he supposed to be who he is and then he has to be on the back burner? And then when you get married, you don't even know if they're going to be able to produce that.
Well, so there are two sides to this, and I feel like we don't have enough context in this video.
There's enough context.
No, it's not enough context because we don't even know what he's asking for from her. Because I feel like there is a difference between a girlfriend and a wife, and just the mindset of the woman when you're a girlfriend and when you become a wife changes. So with that just naturally comes different privileges when somebody is your husband and when somebody's your boyfriend. But at the same time, what he could have been complaining about or what he was asking her to do could have been something that she legit needed to work on. It's not even related to being a wife or not. What if it was related to cleaning or something? Like, you need to do that regardless of you a girlfriend or a wife or an individual, a single person or a married person or someone in a relationship. So I feel like we don't have enough context really to know if what he was talking about.
I do agree. But from the context that we got, it's very clear. We ain't even got to go into detail.
Weeds,
it's like
right.
surface level. She's complaining about having to do wifely duties, but then he said, "Why do you want to marry me?" He didn't say, "Why do you want a husband?" He said, "Why do you want to marry me?"
And she listed those
and
things.
she listed, "You're a provider. You do blah blah blah." Okay, I'm doing this. We not married, so what the hell are you talking about?
Yeah,
Why are you talking to me?
I get that.
Literally, I literally would have looked at her and been like, "Fuck you talking to me?"
Exactly.
Like, what are you talking
I'm out
about?
here doing all these things.
You
I'm out
saying
here
that
providing.
you can't do it. You can't do the wifely duties, but you saying you want to marry me because I'm doing the husband duties without putting the ring on it. So what are you talking about?
But he even said to himself that it's not even that those are necessarily husband duties. It's just like who he is.
No, it is.
So what if
It
it's
is husband
He's
duties.
a husband.
He's a
is.
husband. He's a husband.
Yes, he is a husband. What if that the issue isn't really whether or not she's a wife or not, but really just what he's looking for in a wife, he don't see in her.
No, I mean, I think based off of the video, you can clearly tell that he loves the girl. Even, like, I think he was very respectful. Even when she said, "I love you," and XYZ, he said, "I love you too." And then he went into, listing his type of things or whatever. I feel like and I've seen it with friends, I've seen it on social media where there's this expectation for the guy to go above and beyond and court and all these type of things, which is fine. But in return, you should also be giving in the relationship. You should not just be, oh, well, once you put a ring on it, then I'll decide to be XYZ. I would want a woman that already has those qualities. I shouldn't have to do something or provide something for you to be who you want to be.
See, that's my thing. It's like that video or quote or whatever that Chris Rock had, where men are the only beings that are loved conditionally. Like, we don't get the love that we're supposed to unless we're providing XYZ. But we're gonna give it regardless and show you that we are at least the good ones. At least the good ones. I'm not saying that they ain't shit niggas, because there's ain't shit bitches too. But for the good men out there, just like we just saw, because clearly she wants to marry him. There's nothing wrong with anything that he's doing. He just ain't put a ring on it. But she doesn't want to show the qualities that she say she quote unquote has, which she probably does, because that's why he's still with her. But she doesn't want to put that out in the forefront unless he's doing something that she needs him to do, which is quote unquote a condition. And it shouldn't be conditional. It should not be conditional.
So do you guys feel like there is a difference between someone being a girlfriend and someone being the wife? And what is that difference?
Absolutely.
So what's the difference?
So I would say the difference between girlfriend and wife, and it's also progressions. You know what I mean? Like, when you first meet somebody, you got to state what your purpose is. What's your goals? What are you trying to get out of a relationship? Once that's established, then you can proceed, and that's when you start to get to know people's personalities. You get to know the intricacies between the two, and like if y'all will be a good fit. You talk about your vision. Like, what do you see yourself in the next 5 years? Do you want kids? All these type of things. And you progress to those points. You work with each other, and you got to learn, how to deal with each other, how to learn, people got different traumas. You got to learn how to, cater to those traumas, all different type of things. And I think within that goal of trying to be a wife or trying to, be married, like along the way, that's when you figure that stuff out. Like, and then you transition into the wife. Girlfriend should have wife qualities. Girlfriend should have wife qualities. Husbands should have husband qualities. In my opinion, like, you should have a quality. Like, you should show signs like, okay.
In a general basis, I feel you, but that's not always, like, you can have a girlfriend or a boyfriend that's just there for the time being, and y'all never had the intention of taking it there.
But that's my point, though. That's my point. Like, it's understanding in a relationship, like in the beginning, what you are trying to get out of the relationship. Like if you're working towards marriage, if y'all say, yeah, I want to be married, like I don't want to play around relationship, fuck around, we fucking or whatever. I want to be married and I want to take some steps towards that. I'm talking about that. Okay. And so when you're in a relationship like that and you're moving in that type of speed, then I should see qualities from you that I should be like, okay, like even if it is like, I feel like a lot of stuff like men, we talk about like cleaning and stuff like that. Like it's like we get a maid or whatever. Like you don't understand like when you grow up and you have kids and stuff, how important that stuff is. Your house can be literally a disaster in the day. Like so, just having the qualities to be able to, your like your mom should be able to teach you to how to handle stuff or whatever. Just like I feel like dad should be teaching men to handle certain type of things.
Well, I think we're kind of getting into, that's your, I guess, definition of. Well, I know definition of. That's your definition of what a good wife is. That's your picture of it. That's your vision
very
of,
small
of
piece,
what it
though,
is.
A very small piece.
Because something that he mentioned, he was like, well, or she's mentioned that I guess Mayhem husband quality was that he was a provider and a protector. But oftentimes women nowadays are also contributing to the household, and the man isn't the only one providing for the household. So sometimes the responsibilities like what you're talking about with cooking and cleaning, like if the man, he's contributing being a provider, but the woman is also bringing money in, then some of those responsibilities need to be split 50-50.
No, 100%. No, I agree with that 100%. Like, I mean, obviously, like our dynamic, we do that. That's why I said it's a very small piece of the pie. Like, I'm just speaking more so in a general sense. But yeah, 100%. Like now that, it's not like back in the day where, the mom was staying at home, dad was out working and stuff like that. Now it's modernized. Both people are out working. Both people are bringing on money to where they contribute to the household and stuff like that. So it has to be fair to where, it has to be fair to where it's an even balance. So there's life balance between both partners and nobody gets burnt out. So I 100% agree with that. But like in regards to the video, it seems as though he was naturally like portraying those qualities that she would want to see in her husband. And he has to wait until he puts a ring on it before she decides to do it.
I don't fully agree with that. My perception of it was that I agreed that it seemed like he was doing what he was supposed to do, but it also seemed like she was doing what she was supposed to do, and then they just went into a discussion like at the dinner table or wherever they were, and she was like, "Why I ain't got a ring yet?" And then now the conversation is just in the forefront. He's like, I mean, but see, and the thing, this is the thing. This is the thing that I don't think people like realize, or I'm gonna say women in general don't realize, as far as like what the societal standard and like the pressure for a man and like the position that he has to be in before he can even think about marrying a woman. Like, especially if you ain't got if you didn't have the guidance, and most men out here like didn't have that guidance, and that's what we're dealing with. It's like if you didn't have that guidance, like you ain't even like setting up your life like to be a husband yet. You just like you getting by, like you in survival mode. You making sure that you could be the upstanding dude, making sure your bills paid and all that shit, but you ain't got no emergency fund. You ain't got, and you see automatically, I just went to financial because that's the societal pressure and standard from a man's viewpoint of like, if you not here financially, you ain't ready to be married. But you could have the person that you want to be married, and you could just go to the fucking courthouse and get married, and y'all be happily ever after, be working towards a level of financial stability that y'all are both comfortable with. But then her friends are gonna be looking like, well, he didn't get you no ring, he didn't get you.
Where's the wedding? Y'all didn't do all this.
No wedding. He didn't do none of that. He didn't give you the glitz and glam of the perception that most young women growing up have of having a dream wedding. So it's like it's a bunch. In their situation, in this video, I feel like they both have found their people. He wants this to be his wife. He just may not be, like she said, provider. Yes, you can provide, but the man probably doesn't feel like he's where he needs to be financially yet. So he's probably just waiting on that opportunity to where he can give her everything that she said she wanted, getting advice from her friends, all of this stuff that he feels like he has to live up to before giving you the ring and giving you the wedding and all that stuff. He just feels like he's not ready. But it's a different perception from a woman, and she's thinking he don't want to marry me at all. And it's just, you get crossed up.
Yeah.
You get crossed up right there, and but it's all societal
pressures.
It's like, that's why I always say, do what's best for you and your dynamic, because man, that shit irks me, bro.
So I think there's also pressure from women too, especially coming from a different background, or a background. I think that a lot of Black families, especially girls growing up in Black families, deal with. I can speak for myself. Like, I was taught that I was the prize. Like, just me being me and me being pretty, was enough. Basically, like, I was a prize that, men like to chase. And just the fact, like, again, I say it again, like, I just had to be pretty, and that was enough. It wasn't, I wasn't really taught what more I had to do or what more I had to contribute, or really how to, like, love and support a man. That was something I had to learn along the way. And I think women too, from a young age, we're taught you need to go to school, you got to go to college, you got to get a degree, you got to get a job. Like, this, you're not really taught, like, it's okay to do that with somebody else, or build financially with somebody else. A lot of women are trying to be out here and be independent and get to their bag and get to their money. And then they become like this independent Black woman that's used to taking care of herself. And then all of a sudden, at a flip of a switch, when a man comes into the situation, they are supposed to know
to fall back. It's like untraining, undoing everything that they learned.
Everything that they've learned from the beginning. Like, they really didn't have to put in any work from the beginning. So it kind of goes both ways with the pressures that, I mean, it's not the, I'm not sitting here saying that the pressures are the same, but it's still some challenges on this side too.
So let me say this. So in regards to that, like, I agree that when you're going into different relationships, and you raise a certain type of way, you're not taught a certain type of thing. That happens every day in our community. So, but that's not a pass. Like, you have to, men and women, if you're trying to be a husband, you're trying to be a wife, you have to put in the work on yourself, and you have to get the counseling, get the therapy, find you a mentor, find you something that mimics what you want out of your situation. You cannot just take yourself in a relationship with no regard for the other person. 'Cause I feel like it's not even fair for the other person. Like, if you get in a relationship, let's say a man who is ready to be a husband, looking for their match, and they meet a woman that they actually like, they fall in love with, and that person has to grow into, for her being a wife. You see what I'm saying? Like, if the man is, I don't lost my damn.
It's okay.
No, I got it. It's like, it was quiet as hell. I was like, shit.
Like, he want somebody in the
Listen, no, seriously. Like, if you're a man and you're getting into a relationship and you're ready to go, but you have to let your woman, you have to build them up, and they got to learn along the way. It's not really fair for that guy. Vice versa. If you're a woman, you're ready to go, you're trained, all that, and you're diving into that marriage, and then now you gotta. I'm not talking about there's not gonna be struggles. I understand that, and you work through struggles. I get all that. But I'm saying, for somebody who has not put in the work yet, you get what I'm saying? Somebody who hasn't put in the work.
Why are you even attracted? Like, why are you even?
That's what I was literally about to say.
But I'm saying that's when you cut it. That's what I'm saying. Don't even get to that point. But what I'm saying, a lot of things that happens is you get in too deep. You fall in love, and you love the person. So now that you love the person, now it's like, damn, like, I got to sit here and go through all the growing pains. But then all that does is drive people apart. And that's why the people be getting divorced and stuff.
Fuck.
And I'm saying sometimes, I'm not saying everything.
That's what happens. But that's why the divorce rate is where it is where it is. People jump into marriage thinking that it's supposed to be whatever way that they, I'm not going to say it's a specific way, but whatever way that they have it painted in their brain. And then if it's not that, time to retreat. No, you just went in front of, for whatever you feel like is your higher power, and you vowed to do what you needed to do to make this relationship work. If y'all both live 100 years, y'all gonna get 50 plus out of each other by the time you're married. So the excuse of like, because there's no, I'm expecting, like, when if and when I get married, I'm expecting out of the 50 plus years, we gonna have a good 8 to 10 that we don't fuck with each other.
I agree with that.
I agree with that. I agree with that.
I'm already expecting that. And I'm not expecting myself, like, I'm not going to be fucking with you for real, but I'm not expecting myself or even prepping myself to be like, damn, this is my out. Like, no, the shit is going to happen. Something's going to happen that you don't even think about that's going to come up, and you not going to fuck, you not going to like it. And y'all going to have the time where y'all don't even want to be in the same room. And that's fine. That's my thing. That's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. But when you start talking about it's driving us apart, it's like people go into it. It's like, okay, well, I might as well get married because shit, if something go wrong, I can just get divorced. That's the problem. Today.
No, absolutely.
That's the problem, because what you described happens a lot because of that. If somebody who got married if they didn't know about the option of divorce, they would find a way to work around that, because if you doing it however you did it, like if you did it in a church, then you obviously some sort of connected to God. You ain't gonna want to break that promise, because you don't know. We don't know. Nobody knows what's going on the other side. So you don't want to be caught in the ultimate promise being broken. You don't want to be caught in that crossfire. So, like, it's just people know that they can get divorced.
Yeah.
I think another problem is people not looking within themselves at what they can fix, and always being on defense mode whenever someone else is pointing out something that they could change. And I'll even use like myself, for example. So this video is funny because I used to say that to DeMarcus before we got married. So if you don't know, we've been together since I was 14. He was 15. And probably around, I would say we had our first apartment together.
It's like right around graduation.
Yeah, it was after we had graduated from college. We had our first.
What's next? What we doing?
Yeah, like I was
like, damn.
I was like ready for the next steps, but was I really ready for the next steps? It was. He would say stuff to me about things that he wanted from me or expected from me, and instead of really looking within myself at what I could change, it was, well, you asking for wife stuff. I'm a girlfriend. And it was just a way, now looking back, it obviously was just a way not to deal with what I had going on internally and flipping it back on him, like, or just using it as an excuse or just to get the heat off of me. That was a way just to get the heat off of me, to not really focus or deal with what I had going on.
That brings a good ass point. So you, as a woman on this podcast, what does the word accountability do to you? And be honest, not as educated, because hey, y'all, she's one of the smartest people I know, career wise, all of that good shit, like rock star. But I'm not talking about smart key. I'm talking about common sense, everyday life here. What does accountability do for you as a woman?
I think as a woman in a relationship, it's hard to be held accountable from your partner when, one, there are things, everyone has specks in their eyes. I feel like everyone has stuff that they could change and fix. So it's hard to be held accountable from your partner when you feel like they themselves have things that they need to change and that they need to work on. And it's kind of like pot calling the kettle black. Like, how you gonna call me out for something that I can go down the list of stuff that you not doing right. So I think that's hard. For one, I think to be held accountable for yourself, and I think I forgot my other point.
What is going on with these people, man?
Hey, it's been a long. Hey,
It'll come back to me.
Hey, listen, these kids. Hey, listen, man. I told you this stuff be happening, bro.
Look,
This
it's
stuff be
been a
happening.
long day.
It's because you be listening to yourself talk. And you just kind of be like,
I had a
where
good
am I going?
point.
Yeah, it's like
I had a good point, and I don't forgot it. I had a good. You asked me, why is it hard to be held accountable, or what does that mean?
It's like, because I guess lay it out, because just our experiences as males, like me and DeMarcus, like we've had conversations about you with this and whoever I'm dating. It's just like whenever like something comes up, it's like there's always like pushback instead of just saying like, yo, damn, like, yeah, that was messed up. I fucked up. I'm sorry.
I know what I was gonna say.
I'll do better next time.
Well, I feel like in relationships too, what's also hard is the other person, like that's probably the closest person to you, as far as the depths in which they know you. And it's almost like it's a constant spotlight on your character flaws and your downfalls. Like nobody's perfect, but your partner will for damn sure be the one to bring it to light, everything that you may, try to hide or may not want people to see, or that everything that you don't like about yourself. Like that's hard too when somebody is constantly hitting on your insecurities about what you have in yourself. So I think it's hard to be held accountable from your partner, but I think if you are really serious about being a good person, and for me personally, I don't know everybody else's religious or spiritual background, but Jesus Christ is my Lord and Savior. Hallelujah. And I want to be more like Christ, and things that I have learned in my journey and in my walk is I learned it in church. Those who are meek will inherit the world or inherit the earth. And sometimes you have to look within and look within yourself, and be humble that like you're not perfect and there are things that you have to work on, and accept that instead of automatically going to defense mode. Like if this is your partner and you know that they love you and they're coming from a good place, then maybe maybe that is something that.
See, the market's looking crazy. Look,
I'm not looking
it's
crazy.
like
I'm not looking crazy. I'm just
saying,
like, we need to do more podcasts.
I mean, but she. That's what I was about to say. Like everybody. I ain't gonna say everybody. Let me not say everybody. Majority of people in this that have chosen to be in this type of dynamic with their person, or just with their self, like holding themselves accountable. Like this stuff logically. The reps and practice, like like sports. We sports people, so like reps and practice help you for the game. And there's not really a solid way to replicate when you in your emotions, like in like
absolutely
in an argument or just in everyday life. So the only practice you can get is when that shit happens. That's why like I was dating somebody and they just hated arguing or whatever the case may be, and I'm like, I mean, this shit is, we gonna have to do it because we gonna have to know how to handle it better. So that's why I don't like stopping arguments. I get sometimes it might be
you just need to kind of take a little break.
But I don't like stopping disagreements just because you feel like it's getting a little bit heated, because it's like this is the only practice we gonna get. It's literally the only time that we gonna be able to replicate these emotions, because I can't. Maybe and if somebody can, like, hey, y'all talented as a motherfucker, but I can't sit here like when I'm calm and replicate when I was.
Because emotionally
enraged or something.
And see, my thing is like that's what I appreciate like about not only just you but just like our group in general. Like I mean, we be hashing shit out. You know what I mean?
We
Like,
really do, bro.
but I think at the end of it, I don't know if it's just guys or just our temperament or how we made, but like we always come together. Like, you would think like people be like, damn, they never gonna be friends again if they see the shit live. But like we'll do that shit and literally like after we squash it, like 10 minutes later, like we like, yo, what's up? Like we trying to go get
We
something.
had
to
an
eat. Like,
argument like a month ago.
yeah, like a month ago,
Yeah, it
and
was
we
a big
hashed
one,
it out. Yeah, we hashed it out like 30 minutes. Like we even brought one of our homeboys. Like we always, that's what we do. We'll bring a little mediator sometimes. And Aaron get on me sometimes about that because sometimes I just don't be understanding. So we got to bring a little
You
mediator.
talking about between me and you?
No. This
Oh.
was, me and
No.
him. I don't know if
You
he
need a
told you.
mediator.
Yeah, we
Oh,
need a
okay.
little mediator.
We brought Stephanie.
Yeah, we brought him in or whatever, and he kind of just listened.
Bruh.
And but after he got off the phone, we just talked again. And sometimes it just takes rehashing those. So I'm just saying,
Exactly.
in a relationship, like whether you with your your girl or like in a marriage or whatever, like you have to go through it. Like Kiera don't like arguing.
No.
She don't like arguing.
Nobody likes
No, but I don't like it either. But
No,
I
I
understand.
think you like arguing.
Well, yeah. Actually,
It's a
actually,
No, I
you
think
do
you
like.
like
you
arguing.
no,
do
it's
like
the no. Like on a serious level, I don't like arguing.
you're-
But I like trolling. It's a difference. Trolling, and I think I do. I have a special gift. So
You
sometimes
do.
people
You
don't
do.
know. Sometimes people don't know when I'm trolling or not if I'm being dead ass serious. But like dead ass arguing, like I don't like doing that. I don't be. I just like trolling for the fun.
That's
I
a
can see
special
that.
gift.
It is.
It is.
Okay.
It is a special gift. You don't really enjoy it though, but I mean, it is a gift. It works out in a lot of different situations for me. I'm a hustler because of it.
Okay. I agree with that.
Yeah, exactly. So
What I was gonna say though about those who are meek will inherit the earth. Being meek also allows you to view people like you're not above them, you're not below them. You see people for who they are. Or when you feel like somebody is beneath you, like you feel like you're better than them, or like that's them, that's not me. But when you look at people with like more of a humble spirit, you can recognize like, okay, that person has stuff or has issues, but I do too. So who am I to pass judgment on them or to,
you kind of meet them where they're at.
yeah, who am I to pass judgment on somebody else when I am not perfect myself and I got issues myself that I need to work on? So if you have that mindset in a relationship,
It helps with that accountability.
it helps
piece.
with that accountability piece because okay, I know that there are things I need to work on. And you can't be blind to that. Now, putting that into practice.
Yeah, because it's hard.
Like I said, I'm working.
I know I'm not perfect. Like, I try to be the best human that I can be, but I know I'm not perfect. I know I don't handle every situation, but I will say that I'm the type of person that's going to, like, I'm going to listen to you. I'm going to try to listen to you and try to be better. Like, I think that one time you told me, like it's hard when you're an individual, like you said, being accountable to where somebody coming at you about something to not spin the block, you know what I'm saying, and bring something up that, something that could have happened a week before or whatever, that's just not the time for it, and that kind of takes away, what you're saying, where it's like, well, you did it the other day. Like, okay, but what did I got to do about your accountability though?
Exactly. 'Cause
Take your accountability, own it, and then move forward. And then if something bothers you down the line, then you can address it with that person. But you lose the whole sense of conversation when you just, but you did X, Y, Z.
Yeah, because it can stifle the progression. It's like,
Right.
You got to understand the time and place thing for real. Because if you bring it up in the heat of the moment when I'm upset at you for something that you did to me in that moment, yes, I've done some stuff to you in the past, but don't bring it up right then because I'm going to be like, bro, I'm talking about you right now. And that's basically,
On you.
That's basically what happened with me and DeMarcus'
Yeah.
argument because like we were talking about something that he did right there in that moment, and then he brought something up that I did like a week before, and I'm like, bro, we can have that conversation. Like,
Yeah,
if you
that's
feel
real.
some type of way, like, cool, like
Yeah,
we can have
that's
that
real.
conversation, but that ain't what the fuck we talking about.
Yeah,
you know
that's
what I'm
real.
saying? Like,
I think
That's real.
something like that we practice in our relationship is you have when you want to provide feedback to somebody, like you have to see if that person is in the space to receive that feedback.
too.
You can't just come at somebody and just unload because you're feeling an emotional state or whatever and expect them to receive it or respond in the way that you want them to. Because I feel like sometimes if he comes at me a certain way, my first reaction is to be defensive.
Mm-hmm.
But if I knew beforehand that he's about to provide me feedback then I know my role at that point is to be a listener.
But I'm gonna give you like a confessions of a black man right now, like a vulnerable moment in a sense, because it's like we always got to swallow that pill because y'all so sensitive. It's like it's a buildup. It's like
No, it's just good communication.
No,
it don't got nothing about being sensitive.
And that's what you see. I prefaced by saying that this is a black man vulnerable moment.
Okay.
That is probably not. It's probably not super logical. It's probably not the best thing that or the best practice that we have. But I'm telling you, like how we feel when that happens. It's like the reason we don't choose the right time is because we've bookmarked so many other things and just kept it moving. That because we know that y'all are sensitive, or whoever, like it's personalized. The man knows his woman is sensitive in whatever area, so you have to bookmark like some stuff because it's like this ain't worth like ruining this day, or this ain't worth ruining this moment, or whatever the case may be. So I'm gonna bookmark this shit. I'm gonna put it to the back of my mind. But then it's like as much, and it's not the best practice, like I said, because it's not good to let stuff build up. But because we're trying to protect you in a sense, and then also protect us from dealing with the oversensitivity sometimes, we bookmark it and they build up, and then like it's like okay,
build up
fuck
to
it, I don't
blow
care
up.
if it's the right time or not.
Build up to blow
I'm
up.
telling you, you did this bullshit to me, and I don't give a fuck what you talking about.
I don't think that's an effective way to communicate.
We're not saying that it's an effective way, but we're just saying
I'm saying even in the moment, if you feel some type of way, it's not an effective way to communicate to go up to somebody ever and be like, you did this, you did that, you did this.
It's not.
Yeah, it's not.
If you were to come to me and tell me, if you remove a layer to that, because obviously whatever I did to you made you feel XYZ. Mm-hmm. That's the level of vulnerability you should be at with your partner. Is like go a step deeper. Like, okay, when you, I don't know, didn't pack my lunch, it made me feel unimportant.
No, right.
That's a different message than like you didn't pack my lunch today and like you're a bad wife or something like that. Like
I didn't say that, by the way. This is not about me.
I used it as an example.
I'm about to say because you about to have me. I'm like, damn, he petty. Like no, that ain't me.
I'm using that as an example, but men have to learn how to get in touch with their vulnerable side
You're
right.
Look, Kier, you're absolutely right.
Yes.
Me saying I was literally giving you a vulnerable moment, not justifying, not saying that this is what needs to be continued. It's more so letting you into this is vulnerable. It's like I'm letting you in to the point of like how some men feel, and I kind of know how he feels too because we've had conversations, but like just letting you into the workings of the brain so that you know why the emotion goes there, and then sometimes that's able to like it helps you like ease your brain. Like when that does happen, it's like, damn, there's a reason for it. And it's not because I'm inadequate or because I'm something or he feels that I'm just not measuring up or I'm not it or whatever the case may be. It just helps you like to know like, hey, I'm trying to protect you. Sometimes like I get too protective and like when I should have just came to you and just dealt with the sensitivity because we probably need to work through it anyway, but because I was trying to protect you so much, which was my mistake, that's why I blew up on you, and it doesn't make it right. It's just the reasoning, like giving you a breadcrumb to the reasoning, to the source.
Yeah, and the source doesn't make it. We're not saying that the source makes it good, but I think,
but it helps adds to the conversation and the progression of like, how do we get better?
Yeah, like I think the vulnerability aspect is very important on a male's aspect, to be vulnerable in a space with your woman. Because I mean, to be honest, this world that we living in, like this is not like a easy place to be vulnerable as a man. With you got social media and the social aspect of everything and how that's played out, and it's almost like a world where you're supposed to bottle stuff up. And if you talk about it, then, you being the female, you being a bitch, like, yada, yada, blah, blah, blah. Like, and I don't think that's the right way to go about it. But I think this is just bad connotation put behind men being vulnerable, not only just in general, but especially in a relationship. And side comment, like I saw on Instagram, I think today or earlier, like they were talking about corny guys, like, oh well, the corny guys, like everybody like the corny guy. Those are the guys that treat you right, but you know they want hood dudes. You know they call Russell Wilson corny. You know I saw they called Michael B. Jordan corny. It is just like, but y'all get on social media and y'all do all this other talk about, you know, wanting a guy that's gonna treat you right and do all this other type of thing, but then you like, oh, but he's corny. Like I don't be understanding this stuff. So I think it's just like it's a space that's built where you're not supposed to be vulnerable. And for us, like you said, we just bookmark it.
I
It's
think
just like
that goes both
bookmark.
ways too. Like women, it's the society. Women are in a space too where they can't be vulnerable either with men in this dating world, because you women who naturally, like with sex, like naturally, sex is an emotional thing, but women have now had to, I guess, condition themselves for it not to be anymore. Because
Social media has ruined the whole sexual thing too, but that's a whole nother topic. When it from women, like that's a whole nother topic. You can't get on Instagram without seeing something crazy, and then it being spent to, but you know, I want, you know, this type of guy, but you out here doing that. But again, that's probably a whole nother topic.
But I do agree with you,
yeah,
on that, because I think I said it in one of our episodes, but me personally, I feel like it's the man's responsibility to create that safe space.
Yeah.
That safe pocket of vulnerability to for, like, it's not the woman's job to create that. In my opinion, because y'all deal with so much external factors that have to do with vulnerability and like the different layers. We do too, but it's not in dating. It's like I said, we got to deal with financial obligations with marriage and stuff like that. It don't have nothing to do with the actual dating process, but y'all have to actually
go through so many different
knock
emotions
down
and
walls
stuff,
to
yeah.
trust a man to be able to touch you on your shoulder, or just touch you in general.
And don't even bring in the babies.
Like,
you know, people having babies and all that,
just a whole bunch of
hormonals
stuff.
and all that type of stuff.
And what if, like, the lady from the video, like, what if that's what she was trying to communicate to him? She just didn't know how to communicate it. Is, like, maybe she thinks that with marriage that unlocks another layer of vulnerability that would then unlock another layer to her to be able to give him what he needs. Maybe she just wasn't communicating that in the right way.
And that could be valid.
Maybe she just thinks, like, maybe she feels internally, you know, like, I'm not in a space where I feel like I can be vulnerable enough to give you the things that you're asking for. But she feels like if he viewed her as a wife, or if she was his wife, that it would be different, where she feel like she could.
I mean, it's valid, but it's a whole other issue in itself.
Yeah, but I think with her doing that though, like, you can think that something will change, because like I think back to his point when he said, well, I'm already like this, I am this already. It's like, because when you go into, oh, I'm gonna be, you know, XYZ when I get married, like, it's not, life is not a flip of the switch. Like, you can't just say you're gonna be something when the time is ready. Like, it's prep. You know, you gotta, like you said, you can't prep for an emotional argument. You can't prep to say, oh, when I am a wife, then I'm going to start being a wife. Or if I'm going to be a husband, when I get married, then I'm going to start being a husband. You got to already exemplify that. You got to already have those practices and knowledge behind it, because now that's one thing you can get. You can't practice being married, but you can. There's a lot of information, resources, different things that's out there to help you be able to know, like, okay, this is the type of husband I want to be, or this is the type of wife I want to be. Whether that's your mom, dad, mentor, if you don't have that, whatever your spiritual, guidance is, there are resources out there to point you in the right direction that you feel is best for you.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's my take on it. It's like, she has to, in that video, she may not explain it the right way, and like you said, her points may be valid in what you were saying, but it's hard to flip the switch on stuff. it's hard to flip the switch. You got to already be that.
It's damn near impossible.
Yeah,
It's damn near
especially
impossible.
when you come from a family where you've been conditioned or told your whole life that you've already got it. Like you've already got the prize. Like you are the prize, and
I get it.
there's nothing more to give.
But with that,
But aren't y'all both the prize? Isn't the man also the prize?
Yes.
But with
So that, because I feel like it's so heavily teetered on women being the prize. Like,
but even with that, I just want to know. Like with that mindset, like if you teaching your daughters this, like what happens when you go into like, because the man can't like walk you across the street. He can't drive the car for you every time you got to go somewhere, especially in modern times. I can't do everything for you as a man. So like, what did you think? You just thought you was gonna sit there being pretty? You know what I'm saying? Like,
just that me being pretty was enough for you to do everything for me.
but I can't. But I'm saying I physically like reality. I
Yeah,
get what I'm
like-
saying, but like I physically can't do everything for you. So like, what were you gonna do?
yeah, like,
You know
I
what
was
I'm
just
saying?
gonna
What are
be
you gonna
pretty.
contrib-
I
what are
was
you
just
gonna
gonna be
contribute?
like, I was gonna be on your arm. Like,
And you was just gonna sleep all day?
I mean, no, I would have a general idea like that I take care of the kids or take care of the home. Like, yeah.
But how?
From a
That's what-
traditional sense, yeah. Like I
but
knew.
if you weren't taught that though, if somebody, not you specifically, but if somebody wasn't taught that, then what do you do?
Like how?
And they said if their mom is not teaching them or somebody's not teaching them how to be a wife or all those different things that come with it, and they just breed in you, oh, you're pretty privilege,
And
or
you're enough.
XYZ,
That's
and
enough.
you're
Yeah, I
enough.
don't think
You're the
maybe
prize. When you get married, what are you giving?
I don't think parents think that far into it.
No, my parents definitely didn't.
I don't think they think that far into it.
Definitely
Like,
didn't.
and I feel like especially like, I don't know.
And that's why we're breeding all these inadequate men
Yeah.
and these inadequate
Because
women.
when you're in survival mode, bro, like me and my dad done had several conversations where like he was like, bro, I either had to get you a Big Mac or pay the bills.
Mm-hmm.
Like I had to take the money because me and you back then, you know, when inflation wasn't like $20 at McDonald's was a lot. And he had to pick and choose, like, am I going to feed you something that I know you're going to cry and you don't want, like, that I know I could afford? Or am I going to make you happy and
Facts.
figure it out? Like, when you're in survival mode, that shit just not going.
I think it's a part of like maybe like my parents wanted me to know my worth, but I could also see how it could have been interpreted or my worth could have got caught up in how I looked.
But couldn't your worth? That's a great point. But couldn't your worth? It's not just about pretty privilege though. It's about like not accepting, you know, just anything from a guy. Like having standards, having morals, what to expect. You know what your worth is as far as giving your body to somebody. That's self-worth.
Well, that is from what I should, as far as how I should respect myself. That would be. It's off. I knew that. I knew it. I knew that one was gonna be off. I think those. I think those are good points for how I should respect myself, and like me understanding what I'm deserving of, but why I'm deserving of it can get lost in the sauce. Like, why I'm deserving of those things isn't just because I'm pretty. It's because I have these other things to offer, like being a supportive wife and that type of thing that a man would want. Not just the
And
fact
wrapping
that
your
I'm
self-worth
somebody
into
pretty.
that. Yes, no, I 100% agree with wrapping your worth into that, because you don't just give that to anybody. Yeah. You know, that's something that is sacred, and you should only let somebody into that space when they have earned that. You know, and you know, stamp that in you that they're worth your time to let that person in. Vice versa, even from a man's standpoint, like, because I feel like a woman also has to show a man, you know, that, okay, yeah, this is worth the pursuance. This is worth everything that I'm doing. XYZ. It's a two-way street. I think it's a lot of things that's painted towards, oh, it's one-sided. Oh, you got to do 10 things before I allow you to do this. And most guys ain't like, most real, I mean, Aaron, you may, I don't know, you may agree or disagree, but I feel like most real dudes ain't about to do all that chasing stuff. not like now we like a chase, like because we don't like something that's easy, or because we're not gonna take something serious that's easy. But like we're not about to go around the world, for a situation where you're not, you got to give back a little something to make me continue.
Well,
you know what I mean?
I think the chase is you give enough to pique the guy's interest to want to continue to pursue you. And I think that's what I was taught. Like, you want to keep the guy interested, so you don't give too much away too soon. Like, you have, something that he wants or something that he's interested in. So you don't give away too much too soon just to keep him interested. And then because you have a good personality or because you're a good person or whatever, like you get him to actually like you. And then once he likes you, then he might start taking you seriously and want you for more than just
Well, see, I think
sex.
For a woman like you and your mindset, like that can be like you wouldn't take it as far as it's being taken nowadays, if that makes sense. Like nowadays it's like that times like 100 because it's like, okay, well, we want to see what you'll do for me. Like, do this, and they're almost desensitized and not being like. And I get why women are not being vulnerable to that, to the point that we need to be, because shoot, who makes them feel safe in the world? Like, there's a bunch of shit that we can't protect you from unless you already just know a good man. You know what I'm saying? But it's like the chase has become a little cumbersome now with the majority of women these days.
So I feel like it's cumbersome because, and ladies, I feel like we do this to ourselves. We just make things so easily and readily available for men, to where what incentive do they have anymore to want to get to know you, want to get to know the real you, want to settle down, want to get married? It's like if they have a whole slew of options to get what they want just off rip, just for being them, then what incentive do men have?
Yeah. We've all contributed to, men and women contributed to it for sure. It's a whole nother conversation because we could go down that road and pick and choose.
Conversation.
Yeah, a whole nother topic.
We could pick that apart, bro.
Right. Yeah, but we do appreciate you, wifey, coming through.
for
Had a lot of
having me,
good
guys.
talking spots. Speaking up for the ladies,
It won't be the last.
Won't be the last
for
we'll
her,
see.
for sure.
We'll see her in here a lot more, and we appreciate y'all rocking with us. Another episode.
Oh yeah, we might. My bad. We might only have like one angle for y'all for a good bit of it. We bear with us, like we figuring that out. But it's still good content. So comment, rate, subscribe.
Yeah, let us know in the comments for sure, like, about the conversation that was in the video. Let us know what y'all think. Leave the comments because we could add it on the show, bring up your perspective. Shout out to y'all, with the comments, and, we look forward to it. So we appreciate
Shout out
y'all.
with the comments.
Hey, man, listen, it's late.
What he meant to say was we could shout y'all out if we use y'all comment as a topic or discussion point. I don't know what's going on with these two today.
Appreciate you, brother Aaron.
But yeah, we good, man. Peak Masters to the death, like I said, and we'll rock with y'all on the next one.
Yes, sir.
Bye.
What's the vibes? What's the moves? Tell me what's the vibes? What's the moves?